So we blow things off with cricket on this edition of the SportsMax Zone as the West Indies failed in their bid to secure a second Women's T20 World Cup final berth, going down by 8 runs to New Zealand in a thrilling second semi-final in Sharjah on Friday. Despite figures of 4 for 22 from seamer Deandra Dottin and spinner Afi Fletcher with 2 for 23, the White Ferns manipulated the field expertly to fight their way up to 128 for 9 on a slow wicket. Now, in their hunt for victory, the West Indies found themselves needing 77 runs from 54 balls, with Hayley Matthews, Kiana Joseph, Stefani Taylor and Shemaine Campbell all back in the hut at 52 for 4 after 11 overs. Dottin then trudged to the crease to smash 3 maximums, momentarily reviving hopes for a possible West Indies win. The Kiwis, however, held their ground as spinners Eden Carson, the player of the match with 3 for 29, and Amelia Carr, 2 for 14, came up trumps in crucial moments to restrict the Maroon Warriors to 120 for 8 in their allotment as New Zealand booked a return to the final after 14 years. Now, despite the loss, head coach Shane Dietz acknowledged the team's improvement while insisting that this is just the beginning of what he wants to achieve.
I took over, we played Australia, which was great because we got to see what the world's best are like and where we need to get to. So we used that as a measuring stick. And over the last 12 months, we've been working towards how we're going to match the best teams in the world. And we had to design a way or work out a way of cricket that's going to suit West Indies cricket and how we can play with our style of play, which we've been trying to work out and develop a West Indies way, which has been successful in men's cricket and women's cricket for a long time. So we're just trying to get back to those roots of entertaining cricket and backing ourselves and trying to win games, not hope other teams play bad. We want to try out and actually get on the front foot and dominate teams. So we're at a process. It's only been a year, as I say. We've improved a lot. And, the next 2020 World Cup, T20 World Cup in 2026, I think we'll be ready to take on the world again.
Yeah, that's Shane Dietz there. He's the West Indies women's team coach, joining us via Zoom to recap the encounter and the West Indies run in the tournament is commentator Joseph Reds Pereira. Reds, let me start by addressing a few things that Coach Dietz just mentioned about the team improving. To be fair, they didn't go to this tournament as a top 4 team, neither by ranking nor by form. So to make it to the top 4 in itself justifies Hayley Matthews' comments that the team exceeded expectations. Together with those comments and what Dietz had to say a moment ago in that piece that we put with him, your thoughts on these comments by the team leaders?
Well, I think the key, Lance, the key, Kelly, if you're with us, I haven't seen your lovely face yet, but the key was the win over England. That transformed us into the very special place of playing into the semi-final. But before that, we had lost to South Africa quite badly. We then had a good run, and then I think the magnificent victory over England, where we really controlled the game. We controlled their batting to 142, and we batted so well with the 100 partnership, which we all know about. So that's the real story, and that's how he is judging that we have improved. But there are questions that could be asked, and some people might suggest, Lance, that it's a Monday morning quarterback, that, it's great to know it all after we have seen the game.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the final now, because the final, as it panned out today, was a match the West Indies could have won for sure. And the total that they were chasing was a gettable total. Why didn't they get it?
I think we started badly. One can well imagine that Joseph Koyana was instructed to play the way she knows, right? And to give her the freedom to look for boundaries. Started well, but maybe could have just made the adjustment at just a fraction, quieter in her aggression. But I thought the the Campbell dismissal just set us back. And from then on, we were just in the struggle. We just couldn't find the boundaries with Matthews and Taylor hitting the ball straight to cover, straight to mid-off, not piercing the cover field. And the pressure certainly built up because of that. It was a day where Matthews had an off day. I mean, normally she's outstanding. She can find the boundary. She can put the bad ball away. But it wasn't happening for her, nor Taylor. And at that point, I think we got behind the 8 ball.
Rez, I want to bring your attention to two particular instances during the game. One in the 9th over, when you look at what was happening, of course, the pressure that was building won. But in the 9th over, West Indies women had already taken 10 runs from the over. And then Taylor goes for a shot that, in hindsight, probably was not the right shot to play, given the fact that they've already taken 10 runs from the over. And then she gets out. In the 11th over, right after the water break, Deandra Dottin almost gets caught by Susie Bates. And then 4 balls later, or 3 balls later, Haley goes for that shot that she gets caught on the mid-wicket boundary. For me, looking on, those are 2 crucial moments in this match that I think turned the match in New Zealand's favour, notwithstanding what Deandra Dottin did later on. But given the experience of Stephanie Taylor and Hayley Matthews in that circumstance, were those bad decisions to you that not possibly, but cost the West Indies the match?
My brother, if I can show you my WhatsApp, I did comment exactly on what you're saying. We already had 10 in the over. It was a difficult shot to produce from looking for outside the off stump instead of looking maybe to play through the offside. And the question of Matthews, I think I think the pressure was really on her. And she lost her balance. She lost her shape. She ended up with the bat in one hand. Very, very crucial. Like, I can draw you to one other. We had New Zealand 104 for 7. They got to 127 for 8. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I thought the choice of bowler was wrong. I mean, we had a situation where Ramnarak had 2 overs, 1 for 11. We had a situation where Holy Matthews had bowled 1 for 9, but she's a girl who can come back and bowl a very tight over. We didn't go for the spin. We went for pace, and I think the choice of Allen then, who turned out to be our most expensive bowler, was the wrong choice. Giving them pace was bad. I thought we should have gone back to the spinners who had done well initially.
Well, you actually answered my next question right there, because that was my next thought about the choice of bowler. But since you already answered that question, let me take you to the next point. Zayda James, good cricketing brain, good player, I thought. Does she bat too low in the order for you? Should she be higher?
I'm sorry you can't see my WhatsApp. Exactly. She should have come to me well before Nation. I mean, here is a substitute batting before a player who was chosen on her merit. And she showed the part. Like Dottin, she gave us a little bit of hope at the end. I might have even had her before Aline. But I am backing you on that point. Just to go back to her bowling, she had 2 overs, none for 8. Another spinner that maybe Matthews could have turned to and not give them pace at the end.
Yeah, and Reds, can we talk quickly too about something else that is afflicting the men's team as well, and the number of dot balls, because New Zealand had significantly fewer dot balls than the West Indies had, which suggests that they were a little bit more clinical in how they built their runs up and rotated the strike.
Yes, I agree with you. Well, I made the point that both Matthews and Taylor just kept finding the fieldsmen. I think what we had last, we had 65 dot balls.
Yep.
58 dot balls for the West Indies, 48 dot balls for New Zealand.
Yes, and
46.
Well, I certainly agree with you on that. The other point I would like to make, when Devine went, it was 98-5 in the 15.1. I think then we had the game won, and we lost it in the last couple of overs.
Yeah, and there were tears on both sides at the end of the match. I saw the West Indies players crying. The New Zealanders were crying as well because it was a pretty gripping match all round for both teams. But given the growth of the West Indies team, and you have pointed to the fact that the England victory was really the standout performance for this team, but having lost the first match so badly against the South Africans, would you speak favourably then of the team's tenacity to recover from that, to be challenging it to the deep end of the tournament, given how badly they started?
Yeah, that victory was a magnificent victory over England. I mean, if you look at the English papers, they're asking all sorts of questions about the English ladies' game, and a lot of the writers are talking about the West Indies way in that game. If I can just go back to the game itself, I thought the loss of Henry because of the injury, had she was able to come in the middle order, that could have been an X factor in our players.
Yes.
I think Haley made an important point. She talked about a lot of young players in the squad. And by the time we come around to the World Cup, hopefully based on their agenda, based on what's being planned for them, they will be a lot more matured. We were playing a very tight 11 at the end. And I think the team needs a little more depth. The team needs a little more depth. And we wait to see what the West Indies board will respond to in terms of the coach, in terms of the captain, in the coming months, in terms of maybe focusing more on, well, not just focusing a lot more on the women's game.
Yeah, well, we brought her name up earlier on a few minutes ago. Leighton did, Zeta James, because she's from St. Lucia, where you reside, Reds. And I've been reading about her from she was like 14, 15 years old. She's 19 now, obviously growing in the game. She's a better player now than she was last year and the year before. How good do you think she can get?
I think she can get, and she's getting the confidence to convince herself that she can be better. I must give her parents, her father and mother, a great deal of credit for giving her every support possible. They traveled with her. I didn't see them in the stands, but I would assume that one of them was there. She works very hard. She's in the school, this very special school in St. Lucia. She's one of 3 women in that school. So she is really working on her game with the coaches all the time. I just believe that she needs a little more cricket, or a lot more cricket. And if she can pick up a franchise contract somewhere where, well, I know she probably wouldn't get a 100 contract straight away, but I'm hoping that she can pick up something elsewhere that will bring her game tremendously on.
Reds, of course, the plan is for the 2026 World Cup. And we have a bunch of senior players in the team, including Deandra Dottin, who today became the first bowler in T20 World Cup history to take 3 4-wicket hauls. So significant accomplishment. How crucial is it, you think, it is for her to be around in 2026, to be continue to be a part of the nucleus of this team?
Very important, because she's got the game with the ball and with the bat. And just for a moment, she almost gave New Zealand a heart attack, because if she'd hit 2 more sixes, it would have been a total situation at the end. The question about Taylor is one which probably bothers a lot of West Indian supporters. will she get over the knee? Will she have to have an operation? Will she be still competitive in 2 years' time?
That is a crucial issue.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm not looking for Stephanie Taylor to extend her career much longer, to be honest. I do expect Deandra Dutton to play a lot more, and of course Hayley is just in her mid-20s, so there's a lot more for us to see from Hayley Matthews. But New Zealand fought hard today, Reds. The South Africans were very good in their upset victory over the defending champions Australia in their semi-final on Thursday. Who do you think wins this final on Sunday, Reds?
My gut feeling is South Africa. I think they're all-run game. They're all-run game. That number 3 player, Bosch, is something very special.
Yeah.
We thought the captain was the leading batter, so to speak, but Bosch was really clinically so good. Just to go back to Taylor, if Taylor will not be available, we really need to bring on a couple of middle-order batsmen during the period that the coach talked about.
Yeah, and who might some of those players be? Are there players that are already in the setup, or do you think players on the fringe will have to step up and get themselves ready for these assignments?
Well, there's a couple of players there that I don't believe was played. I think there's a Crafton girl who is not a bad cricketer. Maybe needs an opportunity. I like the young Guyanese all-rounder who bowls and bats. The name has just slipped me. She was in the side today. She was the under-19 captain. I think she has got some talent that will grow.
Yeah, that's Abinash. I think it's Abinash, yeah.
I think so.
She made a good stop on the boundary today. I saw her diving and preventing Ashmini, yes. Yeah, Ashmini Munisar. Yeah, Ashmini Munisar. Really, really good stop that was. And as you said, she has shown talent as a teenager, and it's for these players now to develop to the senior level.
And there's another one who I think the coach is really going to work on. That's the Guyanese fast bowler. She's got genuine speed. Fraser, genuine speed.
That's Cherry Ann Fraser. Cherry Ann Fraser, yeah.
Her control is not there yet, but she's material that can give our opening attack an X factor. Genuine pace, very good in the field, brilliant with her hands. I think they have to work especially with her because we were getting to lose our former fast bowlers. One is already gone, and of course, the fast bowler on the side have been left out for the last, 3 games?
Yeah, well, yeah, we saw Connell.
Yeah, Shimona Connell.
Yeah, Shimona Connell and the other, Shamilia Collin, the other Barbadian pacer who stepped away from the game a couple of years ago. They've been, Shakira Selman, they've been holding the fort as far as fast bowling is concerned for several years. But you are right. There needs to be, others coming into the system to develop themselves and transition into the senior level to develop some more potency on the fast bowling side. I like Aline. I think Aline is a pretty solid bowler, and she bowls Yorkers very, very well, which is a skill that I think is very useful, as you would know, Reds, in the white ball game. So I'm happy to see that she is developing her confidence, Aline, and I think she's one for the future as well.
She needs a little bit more control, though, I think. Yeah. Reds, I mean, talk a little bit about that if you can. I mean, 'cause I think she bowled, especially the last over today, she bowled really well.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, I think her control, she needs a little bit more control. And if she gets that, I think she'll be a very good bowler longer term.
Yeah. All right, Reds, we're going to leave it there. We'll see what happens.
Sorry, Lance. I think the fitness level has got to go up a notch.
Yeah.
I think we need to see our girls as being good athletes.
Yes.
Good cricketers,
yes,
but good athletes, sharp in the field.
Yeah.
Right.
I did say that this week on the show as well, that the athleticism is not prevalent in the team. There are some who are extremely brilliant in their athleticism, but there are others that need to upgrade themselves a bit, we'd have to say. Thanks, Reds.
Lance, we need to wish Henry all the best success. There will be x-rays. I hope we get a report from the board
Yes.
as soon as they can put something out.
Yes.
Agreed.
All right, Reds, thanks a lot, man.
Take it easy, right?
Yeah, we go to break. And we will have more coming up on the SportsMax Zone in just a moment.